everybody. Welcome to our show. We're so glad you could join us. Type in the chat who's your favorite character and who would smash your pass.
Wait, nope. We're leave it. Why do you have to? Nah, never mind.
Yeah.
That is your cue, Mr. DM. That is your cue.
Yeah. Enter DM. All right. Let's recap this shizzle. By the way, guys, I don't know how long. I guess it just depends on. This may be a short session tonight. I'm super wigged out and distracted right now because we found a little mahi in my basement yesterday.
Oh.
And I hate little mahis. Sorry.
What?
A lizard? A little tiny lizard?
Are you serious?
No. It's the legless, wingless.
A
Marble
snake?
snake?
Really? Scared of that snake?
I don't do well, especially since the thing was like staring me down. I thought it was an HDMI cable. It wasn't. It moved. HDMI cables don't move, and it was like near. I mean, not super near my feet. It was on the other side of my desk, but it's like Peanut. You know where my desk is underneath the staircase. So he came from that corner, and we have like a bunch of boxes there and everything. And I'm playing a game and I'm watching the news. I'm like dual purposing here in my office and just chilling. And I look down the corner of my eye. And I noticed that I have like this blue security lockbox that I've got stored underneath my desk, and there was like a black, what I thought was like an HDMI cable just hanging over the top of it, and it's like, it was weird because it was like hanging like stranded in midair kind of thing. I was like, what is that connected to? And, like, I've not noticed it before. I figured it like maybe it fell off the printer or something weird. So I'm like staring at it, I'm looking at it, and then all of a sudden it recoils back behind the box. I was like, oh my god, this is not happening.
Jeez, snakes just kind of freak me out a little bit, but I'm not scared of them, but that would scare the crap out of me.
Yeah, that freaked me out. And
did y'all get it out?
Well, that's why I'm also still freaked out. So I immediately went to go and find Griffin, because I didn't know it was all black. I mean, so I didn't see any speckles or its belly or anything like that. So I don't know what kind it is. I'm assuming it's probably just a rat snake, but and I'm assuming he must have came through the floorboard or something. I'm not even sure how he escaped. But anyway, I went to go make sure that my dog didn't eat it because I didn't want him to get killed. And so, and Andrew was sleeping, so I went upstairs and I woke her up. I was like, there's this thing downstairs, I need help. So I like grabbed boots and gloves and I grabbed the shovel and I went downstairs. And so we're like, it's like midnight and we're like downstairs in my office, moving boxes, and she's moving the boxes, and I'm like behind her with the shovel ready to pounce on it if I see anything. And I had like a box full of little legit cables that were sitting there that was a little freaky when we moved that. But no, we spent like an hour cleaning up my office, and I don't know where it went. She thinks I dreamt the whole thing. I swear to God, it moved. It recoiled.
Tor summoned Drippy in your house.
It was watching me, like, very creepy. It's probably Corelin, I don't know. But, yeah, not cool. And that was yesterday, and like all day today, I'm like been staring at the corner. My office is clean now, but yeah.
I feel that.
I'm glad we got all of that on recording.
I kind of don't want to be down here, and I can't really do this remotely. So anyway, so we'll see how long. This is not very relaxable at the moment. Especially since I couldn't kill it. I would feel much better if I was able to find a kill. Anyway, yeah. So there you go. That's my recap.
That's the recap.
That's the recap.
Recap of his life.
I don't remember any of that happening, but
DM is super
I trust the
wigged
DM.
out, which is ironic because we're playing with bigger lizards and things. All right. Where's my recap?
Maybe I should play as my character, my next character.
There we go. Alrighty, so here we go. So after the brief encounter with an assumed doppelganger and receiving some enigmatic wisdom from Sister. Oh God, I thought I had
Gorel.
this down. Gorel.
Gorel.
Yes.
Gorel.
Yes, Gorel.
Grill.
Grill. Angelo returns to the inn to retire for the evening, while finding a few members of the group waiting at the bar for service. Tavi takes it upon himself to try his hand at a little bartending for bored Mahi, while Angelo does his best to convince them otherwise, but sets out to find the missing tavern keeper that is nowhere to be found at the moment. Meanwhile, Python, having finished the conversation with the others about her suspicions, is left alone in her room with her thoughts when the lights turn off and she's found dead. When she feels as though she was being watched, paranoia sets in and she begins investigating the room in search for something she believes was in the room that might have scurried underneath, which I can attest to. That just happened to me. Meanwhile, Angelo, checking out the back for Toblin, spies a figure in Pyth's room, and not knowing, he tries to spy himself on the situation. Unfortunately, not as stealthily as he'd like to be, so equally Pyth also senses something amiss outside her window, and the two inadvertently spying each other through the wall until Pyth eventually busts open the window, surprising the curious bystander. As both brush off the awkwardness, Angelo continues his search, as so does Pyth with her own room. Tor eventually hears all this commotion and attempts to investigate herself, though feeling as maybe Pyth might just be a little stressed out over recent events. While the investigation turns out nothing other than the apparent lack of cleanliness in the room, the both decide to become roommates for future references. Pyth, for once, chooses not to be left alone. Now, Angelo circles the building, and he finally discovers Toblin has returned. Continues to buy, well, not continues, but goes ahead and buys drinks for Mahi, and apparently Dr. Tavi, and discusses their professional curiosities. As he pawns the drink off on Tavi, Angelo gets an attempt to have a private conversation with Mahi, as they argue over philosophical and moral differences. However, inevitably, Angelo accuses Mahi of cowardice for being a paladin of a respected order and having associations with an alleged cultist of Talos. Mahi's curse activates, prompting a fight within the tavern, while Tavi just kind of oddly stands by and eats popcorn and watches the show. Angelo, deflecting, continues to pressure Mahi to escalate the situation until eventually Angelo is backed into a corner and almost ending his life before Mahi willfully gains control of himself and ends the immediate bloodshed. The group quickly tries to clean up the mess before guards arrive to inquire to this disturbance. Angelo retires for the evening, seeing as how lines have been crossed, and to recoup from his experience. While the group recants Mahi's latest episode, however, Corelin arrives at the end and inquires if the group has discovered anything involving the mission at hand. Unfortunately, Angelo being gone and the group having not secured any new information since last they spoke, Corelin begins idle talk with Tor, attempting to catch up for when Tor left Candlekeep. Mahi leaves frustrated with his recent episode, and with all talks of familiars and spells, this also sets Pyth off as well. Mostly engaging with Tor and Tavi, Corelin decides that while they wait, that training would be a prudent thing to do to spend the time, and requests them to follow him to a more secluded place. As he leads them through the town and up to the outskirts of town, they do eventually find Mahi alone in the fields of dreams and invite him along. Corelin casts a teleport circle on the ground. This portals the group to an undisclosed circular type of arena with no apparent exits. Corelin then baits the group into a mock battle and see what their worth is. With a very critical blast from Tor's spells and Tavi's ability to tank, the group was able to best Corelin and his summoned minions and gain some respect. He then passes down some further knowledge to Tor, while both Mahi and Pyth quickly head back towards the inn to avoid any further confrontations, as they are both very moody and emo. And that is where we have left off.
Nice.
I mean-
wrong.
I take offense to that remark, but you're not wrong. Okay, so at this point,
So,
Tavis, are you still also in the thingy with
I'm-
Corelin and Tor?
Yeah,
Yes.
Corlin is still there. You guys are still in this little room of his. So it's just you and Tavith. Mahi and Pythavin's already left, portaled out, so they're on their way to the inn. Angelo's was at the inn. So Corlin was basically showing Tor during this time, teaching her some new spells. So I believe, if we are not mistaken, we discussed sleep and web.
Web,
Right?
yep.
Yep. Okay. So go ahead and, just for the sake of getting this out of the way now, go ahead and add them to your book. It's going to need 4 hours. So you will probably need to sleep in a little bit in order to get your long rest and do the deciphering. So you can write your own notes about the spells. So give about, because you only need about 6 hours to get your long rest. So we'll say you'll probably sleep for 10 to cover both of these. And 50 gold per, so that'll be 100 gold down.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and make those changes to your character sheet.
Ouch.
And then, you can roleplay it later if you want to, but otherwise, there you go. Tavi, so basically you're kind of watching Tor and Corlin kind of huddled over her spell book, and you watch as Corlin is writing some notes and talking to Tor and weird algorithms that you don't know.
Totally confused.
Yeah, you're totally confused.
I hear lots of typing.
Is there anything you want to do?
Well, I'm waiting for Tavi to decide if
Yeah,
he's
I know,
going
I'm
to
trying to
continue
see if
standing
Tavi
there or if he's going to
can-
leave.
Exactly. Every so often, Corlin kind of looks over the book, and Tor kind of looks over the book, and they both kind of look at you like it's a little awkward. You're still standing around.
Making sure he's not gonna pull another fast one, that's all.
Do you say that out loud?
No. I don't. I don't want to start something with Corelin.
Start to fight
insight?
immediately.
Insight check him?
Oh, can I?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Alright.
Or you can just stare at him suspiciously.
I'd rather do that. Just stare at him, dude.
Also, that's a great thing about not rolling for insight, is you can just choose how you want to react to the character regardless.
Tavith is done with all his tasks, so he's just following.
Yes,
Tavi,
exactly.
it's sus. Vote him off.
I'm making sure you're okay, Tor.
Tavi, sus.
It was a 14.
A 14? Okay. So you kind of take a few moments genuinely, they both kind of look excited about what they're talking about. You don't see any ill will. Corlin seems, genuine with his ability to dispose his wisdom onto somebody else.
Okay. Well, then Tavi wants to ask Corelin, hey, you got anything cool for me or interesting that I can use?
Oh my god.
So he kind of lowers the book a little bit, and he kind of, if he had glasses, he would kind of be looking at you from over his glasses if he had them. He kind of gives you that kind of look, like, you serious? So he kind of looks you up and down, and then he kind of nudges over the Tor. He goes, well, I wasn't aware your larger friend was interested in the arcane.
I wasn't either, to be honest.
Tell me, Mr. Goliath, what do you know of any type of schools have you studied at? Any particular classification you might be interested in?
That's Dr.
Cantrips,
Goliath to
maybe?
you.
my god.
Cantrip? Is that like going somewhere?
Okay, well, anyway,
Answer that question.
he kind of ushers his hand over to the portal and goes, "Well, shall we retire for the evening? I do see that you all could stand to use the rest, and I do admit I might have to recoup a little bit from our encounter as well."
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to talk to you privately for a second. And Tor kind of like glances at Tavi, like she's been waiting for him to leave, but didn't want to say, but now she has to.
He kind of nods, and now you both are looking at Tavi.
Oh, you mean okay? Is that portal like a cantrip?
It's
Yes,
are you asking him?
go through it.
Oh, yeah, I'm asking him.
Yeah, he kind of doesn't respond. He lets Tori answer.
Yes, go through it, Tavi.
All right, and Tavi does a little
It'll
salute.
take you on a trip back to where you came
A
from.
little
Yes,
salute.
it's a magical portal.
And Tavi's gonna walk on the other side of the portal where they can't see him. Like, just kidding. He's gonna go in. He's going in the portal.
They're just staring at him.
Yeah, he kind of watched
I know.
Corelin taps his foot.
And through the portal I go.
We say impatience runs in the family.
Tavi, you appear in the middle of the road. Nighttime. It's dark. You don't see anybody at the moment.
Yeah, I want to make my way back to the inn.
All right. So Tavith, as he makes his way, following a little behind Mahi and Python. Just to switch gears here, since we haven't heard from him in a little bit. So Angelo, you have been in your room for a little while now. I'd say that this whole battle scene probably takes maybe an hour, not too long, but about maybe an hour. Anything you want to premise about?
He has been laying in his bed, not asleep, but he's been laying in his bed, occasionally getting up to stretch his legs. Maybe just take a walk around the tavern every once in a while, maybe, then going back to the room to lay down more.
Checking
Reevaluating his life
Yeah.
choices.
Just reevaluating like everything he's made like in the past 20 years.
Okay. All right. So while that's happening, we go back to Corelin and Tor. So he still kind of holds his hand out and he's kind of waving it around a little bit, and you can kind of see that he's still kind of keeping the circle going, but you're not really sure, or he's not really sure if necessarily he should drop it or not. So he's kind of looking at you from the side. Was there something that you needed?
Yeah, thought I would ask you, since the other person I would ask doesn't like to talk. What exactly happened between you and Pyth?
He smirks, and then he kind of lowers his gestures, and he kind of watches kind of the portal kind of fades. And
He's like, oh, this is gonna take a while.
He kind of looks around. And he's like, well, I'm not sure that this is necessarily the exact location to have this type of a conversation, but so be it. And he kind of snaps his fingers, and you kind of watch as a chair materializes in the room, and then he snaps it again, and then another chair appears next to it, and he goes over there and ushers you over to the chair, pulls it out for you.
Sit down.
Of course, then he realizes that there's like no table, so he snaps, and then the table materializes in the middle. Then you kind of watch as he gestures over to one of the exits that at this point had kind of like a shimmering some type of, it was translucent. You can see through. You kind of see a hallway down the hall, but it has kind of like a force field in front of it, and you kind of see as it just disappears. And then you kind of watch as a couple of floating cups kind of just
Getting all Beauty and the Beast up in here.
Yeah, there's kind of Beauty and the Beast aspect going on here, and so you can kind of watch these kind of cups look like they're bobbing around, so it's not like they're necessarily hovering. It looks like something unseen is carrying them. And
I wonder what that could be.
Yeah, and you watch as it kind of sits one cup in front of you. It's nice. It's not tavern mug or anything. It's a pretty fancy looking goblet.
It's a civilized goblet.
It's nice. And then of course he gets one himself, and he takes it, and you kind of see him sigh a little bit, and he kind of watches his eyes dart up as he's kind of thinking of how he will respond. And he goes, "Well, let's just say our history is somewhat complicated. Family issues. You are aware that Pyth is my sister, correct?"
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned to her before.
You explicitly call her sister. Front of a group.
Well, you are the sister, aren't you?
That's what I'm saying.
And he kind of sighs and goes, "Well, younger sister, of course. We do have in our family our bloodlines, I should say. They run deep in wizardry.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I guess how you could say Python might be what you would call the black sheep of the family. Didn't really take to what Mommy and Daddy would have preferred. Unfortunately, I think some of well, wouldn't say distrust. I would say maybe angst is a better word for it. Maybe misplaced among the rest of her siblings, but I suspect it's mostly directed to the hierarchs of the family.
So what's your issue then?
Well,
because you don't seem you don't seem particularly keen on your sister.
I wouldn't say that I'm not keen on my sister. More so disappointed. She's chosen a path that the rest of us would not have wanted for her. And despite my urgings accordingly and involvement from many years ago, maybe it was actually before you arrived at Candlekeep, well, let's just say I was a different person back then as well. Situations occurred that changes individuals, unfortunately.
So if you two are different people now, why don't you try to get to know each other as those different people? Because I think that would be better than the awkwardness that happens every time you guys are in the room together.
He laughs and chuckles and takes a sip of the wine and then puts it down, licks his lips a little bit, and goes, "Ironically, actually, we have more in common than even she realizes."
Then maybe you guys should try to talk about it. I mean, I know that my solution is always talking, but like, maybe actually this time it would be a good solution between you two. Because again, it's very awkward being in the room at the same time with you two, and I would prefer that two people I care about be getting along and not on opposite sides where I get to have to like try to choose between you in any given conversation.
He kind of looks at you and he folds his arms together. He goes, "Python is not, would you say, the talkative type.
I've noticed.
She never has been, and I don't suspect that part will actually ever change. Unfortunately, well, let's just say there are some things that cannot be undone. However, my issues with her are more of current events than anything as far as past. And he leans in over to the table and kind of looks at you and he goes, "You are aware of certain allegations against particular, how should we say, associations that she has had recently for her, maybe not so necessarily for your time frames, but
Specifically, because I might know, I might not know.
well, let's just say it's not for me to tattletale, but fortunately my sister has gotten involved in dubious accounts. It puts us in a bad position, especially if we're to trust her with something as important as our mission at hand. Unfortunately, those in the Alliance would not be so keen if they knew who is a part of our little adventuring group. And though it's not for me to out her, we'll say that I guess more supervision is required in this case to ease suspicions.
I still really think you two should talk because you're suspicious of her and she's suspicious of you. And I feel like if you just cleared the air there a little bit, yeah, there would still probably be suspicions, but maybe less. You two would actually maybe understand where the other was coming from, at least maybe not in like all of the past stuff that's happened, but in the mission now, because as it is, she doesn't like Angelo. And she doesn't really like you, and Mahi doesn't really like you, and Mahi doesn't like Angelo, as evidenced by the scene that happened before you showed up. And so it's the group dynamics aren't doing too great right now if we're supposed to be a group on a mission, so maybe a little bit of clearing the air with everybody, or specifically between people, could be of use here.
He kind of scratches his chin a little bit and then sits back, reclines into the chair. You do bring up an interesting point. Can we expect anything to be uncovered if the dynamic, as you say, is a little skewed? Tell me a little bit about this paladin. Mahi, you refer to him. What is his actual deal? What's I could get Python, but I'm not sure why.
Know.
Paladin would
What's
have
his deal?
I honestly do not know what his issue is. He has them for sure.
Notice that there is an aura around him that also seems suspicious, especially considering from a paladin. Do you know what order he belongs to?
Quick check. Mahi, did you reveal that during the Zone of Truth?
You might know. See, I showed my amulet to the lady. I know I told Angelo, but you weren't there.
Would I have
What about-
seen the amulet at any given time?
You would have. You would have seen the amulet because I
Okay,
showed it to the lady.
That's enough for me. I don't know if he didn't tell me the order, and I described the amulet.
Corelin shakes his head. What you describe sounds actually that particular sect has splintered recently, so depending on whether he comes initially from the Order of the Gauntlet or the Order of the Gilded Eye, as it's known to be right now, inevitably I'm sure that he probably has come from Helm's Hold. Has he ever mentioned that location?
Yes, he does come from Helm's Hold. His wife's there.
It's local. I would suspect it to be
Don't tell him that.
a resident. His wife, you say?
Yeah. She's a dragonborn too, actually. White dragonborn, which is
Son
kind
of
of
a-
funny given that he got attacked by a white dragon.
Hmm.
We've teased him a bit about that, but
Yes, that's funny. Interesting.
Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no.
I do know of this white dragonborn that you speak of. She sits on the
No, no,
city
no, no, no,
council. Very interesting. In any case, I am again somewhat suspicious of our paladin friend. I don't know if you have noticed yourself, but I did spy that there seems to be, again, as I mentioned previously, some type of how should I say, a dark aura around him.
well,
This behavior not becoming of a paladin. He seems prone to rash attacks
part of that. Okay, part of it isn't his fault. I'm not 100% convinced that he wouldn't react in similar ways even without this, but the fact of the matter is, after we fought the Nothic in the Nothic's little hoard of magical items, we found a longsword, and we're like, oh, hey, it's a longsword. Mahi the Paladin could use an upgrade. And so he took it, and turns out it's cursed. And so every time that somebody attacks him, he goes all kind of crazy, and he hyper focuses on that person until he's killed them, which has gotten him in trouble a couple times. That's what happened to Angelo. That's why I didn't want him to come with us, because I knew the minute that somebody hit him in here, he was going to probably attack them.
He attacked Angelo.
Yes. Oh, we didn't actually... That's right. We just said there was an incident. Yeah. Turns out Angelo didn't even hit him. Angelo insulted him. And for some reason, that still triggered the sword. So I don't know what's going on with that cursed sword, but that's probably a huge portion of that dark aura you're getting from Mahi. But the other problem is I think he's just angry and kind of bad person who likes to kill things that he doesn't agree with.
And you say that he found this sword, where? The Nothic?
Yeah. The old Red Brand hideout. It's the... Oh... I would have read about this in the book. What's it called again? The sword itself.
Sword of Vengeance.
No.
No.
It's called the Talon, isn't it?
The Talon, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Talon.
Interesting. This seems to sort of possessed by some kind of
Vengeful spirit
from history. That would make sense. This area has been prone to orc attacks throughout decades. Interesting. It's the spirit of the fallen warrior perhaps trying to enact its vengeance, though it doesn't seem necessarily keen on just orcs, it seems.
No, pretty much anything, it seems. And it's getting angrier, it seems.
But as a comrade of his, you might tell him he should look into getting that looked at.
Yeah.
Possibly a healer of some kind, I'm sure, might be able to help him accordingly.
Yeah, I'm not positive he would get rid of
study
it.
that's cursed myself at some point. I don't believe he seems necessarily interested in trusting me with this information.
No, he really hates elves.
But that does bring up an interesting point. Now, they seem to have odds with Angelo, which I'm not sure. That they know each other previously, or is this some side effect of his curse?
You see, well, this is what I think has happened. So, Pythavan doesn't like you for reasons, and Mahi doesn't like you because you're an elf and he hates elves. And because apparently an elf killed his master, and so therefore he has to hate all elves.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's racist.
Somewhat of a racist. Yes.
He is.
I'm getting the dynamic. Makes sense if he would be local to the area.
So because Angelo is closely associated to you, and he was introduced as your partner, I think that hatred just kind of got extended over to Angelo.
Yes.
And then when he started prodding into their business, that definitely upset Pyth, who doesn't like anybody in her business. And Mahi's just an angry person in general, and typically will do whatever Pythavan does, which is funny given that she is also an elf. But Mahi does that whole, oh, you're not like them, though.
Yes, there does seem to be a little hypocritical on both of those points, considering my
Oh,
sister
he's
would
a
also be
huge
Elvish.
hypocrite. He's such a hypocrite in so many things.
Let's diss
And,
Mahi
like-
while he can't defend himself.
Oh, like you didn't do that last time to Pyth.
I'm just hanging out back here.
Hi, Mahi.
Welcome to the club, Mahi.
So Corelin kind of takes his
I'm on it.
fingers and he kind of drums them on top of each other, and he just kind of pats them back and forth and looks up into the sky and then looks back at Tor, puts his fingers to his lips. So this seems to be our heroes, so to speak, seemed fractured. How was it that you all got along before?
Ooh.
The blatant fact of the matter is, the reason we got along before was because Archer was with us.
Interesting. This is the one that fell shortly before you returned.
Yeah.
And I understand that he met with a drow, you say?
Yeah.
And this drow, we're not exactly sure on. No one has uncovered any identity other than she seems to be an accomplice for the Black Spider.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hold on one second.
Pyth dies. Not Pyth. Ford just dies.
Just died right there.
Yeah, we didn't really have any leads on who she is.
So one would argue at this point that despite previous accolades, your group may not be up to this current task. It does not bode well.
No, but unless you've got another group of stupid people who are driven by, honestly, revenge at this point, we're kind of the best you've got.
Well, and that is why you're my pupil. Yes, that is unfortunate where we find ourselves. You are pretty much the best that we have at the moment, being as close to the situation as anyone else can be. For the sake of the realms, really, I would say that maybe we would need someone to step in, perhaps, of a more of a leadership capacity. Is that something that you feel capable of?
What?
Well, knowing everybody as you do, and unfortunately, I'm not in a position myself to reconcile any differences this group may or may not have, but perhaps you can be the spokesperson, the glue, so to speak, to hold the group together.
Oh,
If
I'm
you
great.
can-
I'm great at that spokesperson speaking part, but they don't listen to me. They literally, like, you've watched them. When you ask me questions, you watch them roll their eyes and basically mentally turn off every time I talk. It doesn't matter if what I'm saying is right. They don't listen to me.
Interesting. What I've learned in my time... What do you see, Griffin?
Snake.
What do you
Yes.
see, Griffin?
With the snake.
He's like totally checking out that corner.
Do your dog eyes see?
Do you smell anything?
I smell a coward.
Are you just what? You're just staring at me now. All right.
Back to Corelin voice.
Speaking of snakes, yeah. So, I lost my train of thought. Distractions. Wizard mind is never alone. I would say that if there is some ability, perhaps in my experience, I have known people respond to, well, let's just say the more power you have, the more influence you wield. So even despite your training and you have accumulated quite a bit of knowledge, they still don't respect you.
No.
Perhaps your aim on your chromatic orb, if adjusted in the correct trajectory, might persuade them otherwise. But of course, that would only be my opinion.
Problem is, if I don't really want to hit Python. She's the one who does the healing. I can't do that. And so if I take down Python, then she'd probably just zap me. And if I hit Mahi right now, Mahi will go crazy until he kills me. Or I kill him. And I'm not looking to kill either of them. But you think that like a display of power would make them respect me more?
Perhaps. It's for the weak-minded. They both.
Well, I don't think
fall into
Python's
that category.
weak-minded.
Well, I'll just say I know her longer. Unfortunately, her attention, she tends to seek after the quick route and not the sure one. But she did have promise. It's unfortunate. If she had stayed the course, you might have met her in Candlekeep yourself. She might have been your pupil.
I doubt that. She is still a lot older than me.
This is true. But you have come a long way in a short amount of time, so kudos is available to you. And you should do pretty well with what I have taught you, the new spells. There are more to learn, and should we have more time to go over them, I look forward to such. In the meantime, I would suggest that keep an eye on these two, if you wouldn't mind. Let me know if you sense that they are not going to be capable of handling the task if they cannot keep their, I guess, personal feelings aside and invest on the mission at hand. As mentioned, the realms could be at stake. All of us could suffer if the forge gets in the wrong hands. Also, let's necessarily assume that those wrong hands belong necessarily to the Black Spider. As other interested parties may be involved here.
Like who?
Well, Python's connections could also be a problem. What is her interest in all of this? Why does she involve herself? It's not necessarily her motive.
Well, money.
Money is a motivator. Python's not necessarily been known to greed.
Yeah, I know money's a motivator to at least some extent, because that's what she said in Zone of Truth.
Perhaps she comes from money. She knows where she can access it if she chose to. Of course, the whole point is I thought that she chose not to.
Which would be why she needed it. So that would follow.
And tell me a little bit about the your hulking character as well that was loitering about here.
Oh, Tavi.
Clearly, he is not interested in learning any cantrips.
Tavi is harmless except for when he isn't. He's kind of like a toddler, except if a toddler had access to Fireball. He doesn't mean ill will, but like he also tried to sacrifice one of us because he thought it would just make things move faster. Then when we explained to him that no, that's something that you don't do, he hasn't tried to do anything like that. So again, he's harmless, but at the same time, he's like a toddler with Fireball. He will hit you, and he will hit you hard if that is what it comes to, which you yourself got to experience today. He hits hard.
And he attempted to sacrifice one of you.
Yes.
This conversation continues to not distill any hope in this endeavor.
He didn't get far. He basically just picked up Archer and how did he get? Oh yeah. I think I'm gonna stop telling this story because it's not gonna make you any more hopeful about our group.
Interesting.
But
that leaves me with 2 at this point that I can feel invested in. I would say you and Angelo try to stick close and let me know if the other 3 become problematic for us. If we need to make changes, that is not side out of our power.
Are you going to talk to Python, though?
Oh, I'm sure Python will confront me on a number of occasions. This will not be the last one, I assure you.
Maybe you should try talking to her first. She was looking for you, but she didn't know how to find you.
Perhaps. If the situation opens itself up too, I would not be unopposed to having that discussion.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I do think that you have the ability to, well, just as you mentioned, if all of your compatriots are fireball spells that need to be harnessed, well, you are the wizard to point them in the correct direction.
You really think I could?
Of course, you are my student. You learn from the best.
I'll try.
And he kind of waves off, and he watches his little goblet kind of floats off the table and walks back. He stands up, taps the chair, and the chair kind of vanishes. Well, then it is late, and we will discuss more in the morning. Go ahead and get some rest. We'll try to get all of your group together, and I might be able to offer some assistance on what direction that might be. And the rest I'll leave in your capable hands, and hopefully, in the not too distant future, we will all be discussing over some notes as we uncover the secrets of the Forge. I would imagine that you would be equally interested to learn of its history.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm. But do keep an eye on the ones that we discussed. I fear that we might have to take precautions. If the situation turns.
The only one I'm concerned about is Mahi.
Well, that being the case.
Tor gets up from her sit.
Okay. So is there anything more that I can assist you with this evening?
No. Thank you for the spells.
He kind of waves his hand over the sigil in the room, and it lights up. The portal realigns and converses in the center, swirling. Very well. We shall see you in the morning.
Tor waves and then steps through the portal.
And he kind of watches and he folds his arms as you go through. it's just the whole conversation it kind of has put him off to his normal type of demeanor. So you kind of get a little bit of a kind of an awkwardness as you kind of skip through.
It's like, this is a lot of information I was not ready for.
As you appear the road, the portal behind you closes up, and you are now on an empty, dusty, dark road.
Okay, I'm gonna cast light on my staff and start heading back towards the inn.
And you do.
Pyth is sitting in the inn waiting for Tor. I said this last time.
Yes.
At this point, Pythaven has arrived to the inn. Mahi is with her as well. You all watch as Tavith comes in shortly. And unless you want to do anything in the meantime, we can skip
Mahi
Tor.
was going to
Alright.
actually go to Angelo's room and knock on his door.
All right.
Angelo opens the door.
Angelo. Like, kind of gives a nod, like, hello.
I open
know
the door
it's late.
wider and I welcome him in. Kind of motion for him
alright.
to go in. And then
I'm
I close
in.
the door and lock it.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say it's late into the night and we don't have to talk tonight, but that works too. Look, I just want to apologize for what happened. My sword, if you didn't notice, is cursed, and either way, I was out of line, and I do apologize for that. You understand, though, I'm ticked off at you and what you did you should not have done.
What did I do?
I'm not gonna get into that.
If you do not want me to do it again, I need to know what I did.
I hate Angelo so much. Just let it go!
This guy asked
Oh.
for it.
I guess you were trying to find out, and I do quotation marks while I'm saying this, find me out.
No.
I don't know why you made me ticked off and called me a coward. I'm not.
Do you
I'll be honest.
know what I was
I'm a
doing?
No. I'll be honest, I'm a terrible judge of character.
Yes, well, luckily for you, I am not. What I was trying to get you to realize is that it is good to fight because of emotion. It is good to fight out of love, anger, hate, sadness, despair, sorrow. It is good to have all of those. But you let it control you. And because of that, you almost got me killed. Now, I need you to keep your emotions in check, or else you or another party member will die just like this archer fellow. And don't even blame your sword. Do not. Because you stood up and put your hand on your sword before I even called you a coward.
He actually doesn't look upset at all. You can actually tell he's thinking about everything you're saying.
And one more thing. I do not want you blaming your sword from now on, because you could have killed me, and you did not. Why?
I don't know. I honestly, I've never been able to take control. You were the first time I was ever even slightly able to control what I did.
Well, there is something inside of you that is stronger than what you carry.
I doubt it.
I don't.
That man died long ago. Listen.
And the man could have died tonight.
Listen.
I am.
You're probably going to continue with us, and I have no problem with that. You seem, and I kind of gesture to you, handle yourself in a fight, I suppose, so I've never seen you in a fight. You may not understand my methods. I don't expect you to. What I do seems hypocritical, and the majority of the time it very much is. As far as Python goes, my current focus is on this black spider who continually kills innocents and is a greater evil at this moment. I will deal with Pyth when the time comes, and you may be right. She may be using us for the end game, for her own purposes. Probably are right. But she is useful right now, and she has saved all of us many times. She's a helpful ally. Don't screw it up.
I'm sorry if I screw up your friendship with an evil person. It is not my intention.
Ooh.
I wouldn't call us friends, but
I would call you friends. You follow her like a lost puppy. Now get out. I'm gonna unlock the door. I'm gonna open it. It was a pleasure talking, and I accept your apology. I also apologize.
listen,
It was wrong what I said, but I said it for a reason.
if you are in league with Corelin, if you are involved with his malfeasance, no amount of prayer or desperation, even from me, will save you from the wrath of me. And I tap the sword, or the really ticked off guy that's in here. Do you understand?
Oh, I understand clearly, but let me tell you something. In your blind rage, I could have killed you. I chose not to. It is
How?
wise not to get on my bad side. And Corelin's. You underestimate him. Do
I
not make that
don't.
mistake.
I don't.
I'm
I
gonna
see
shut the
what
door
you
again.
do.
Maki. Before there is a battle with the clanging of swords and shields, there is a battle of the mind. I played that game with you. It is a game of wits. When I had that conversation with you earlier, I played that game, and I won. The moment you lose the game of wits before a battle, you will lose the battle. As you can see, I am not dead. And as you can see, you are in a state of self-pity and mental anguish. I won. You need to learn how to play the game of wits.
Self-pity. What do you
Yes.
think I'm self-pitying myself about?
Take responsibility. You wanted to kill me. Take responsibility. It's not the sword's fault. Tell me you wanted to kill me because your feelings got hurt.
I wanted to kill you because I want to kill everybody. Everybody I come in contact
There we
with.
go.
It slightly annoys
There
me.
it is.
Shut up.
Do you see this? And I just kind of gesture to my scales, my claws, like just me. Do you know what lineage I come from?
Lizards.
He's visibly pained when you say that.
Dragons. I'm not an idiot.
Or specifically a black dragon. Do you have any idea what a black dragon is or how they act?
Well, if it's anything like you, I would guess irrational.
Irrational, cruel. They find it fun to gut someone.
Yes, you do.
I have these tendencies, and I keep them in check.
No, you
It
don't.
doesn't look like it. I keep them in check a whole lot more than anybody realizes. Jeez, you sound exactly like
Like who?
someone I knew.
Well,
You
I do
think
not
you-
intend to die tonight. So we will end this conversation. And Maki, as I open the door, next time you try to kill me, make sure you kill me.
I don't want to kill you.
You just
Not
said
right
you do.
now, anyway.
You just said you want to kill everyone, and I'm going to hold you to that. I will remember that.
I guess it's the... What'd you say? the good person, the good in me that doesn't
I
want to
didn't
kill
say
you.
it was the good in you. There's something in you. I just haven't figured it out yet.
Well, then whatever that something is. And when you find out, let me know. Mahi
Well-
walks out.
And good night to you too. I'm gonna shut the door behind him.
As soon as you shut the door, he does that like silent.
Angelo does the same thing.
We really out here Mahi roasting session tonight.
Mhm.
Honestly, it's not hard to do.
Pythavin, so while this is going on, Pythavin and Tavith, you do see Tor arrive at the inn.
I arrive. Hello, I walk through the door. I turn off my light because it is no longer needed inside of the tavern. I am here.
Tor, what's a cantrip?
I tap my staff. I make the light come on. I tap my staff. I make the light go off. Cantrip. Low-level spell.
Oh, okay. I think I get it.
Do you want to roll Arcana check?
Sure, let's do it.
Oh, God.
Watch he crits.
Natural 20. He understands all magic powers now.
He gains a one-time usage of wish.
It's a 10.
What was it?
That's not
A 10.
bad.
A 10? That's not bad.
Right?
I mean, you've come across magic users in your time. You don't understand a lot about it, so you just know its effects
It's magic.
and how it can be useful.
We're in the tavern, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to order food.
All right.
I have 2 levels of exhaustion now.
Alrighty. So you go ahead and order dinner. Elsa brings out a platter for you.
Pyth is just sitting in one of the corners and basically just quiet, watching these two.
I'm gonna go sit at Pyth's table.
All right.
Probably just gonna stay at the bar. Doesn't
Kinda
want
watches
to
time.
repeat.
You basically got a kind of an assortment of different types of meats and cheeses in front of you, so you're all kind of watching Tavi kind of go into a turkey leg.
Him hungry.
The moment you're alone at the bar.
I'm not gonna say anything to Pyth. I'm just gonna sit there. I'm gonna open up my journal, and I'm gonna start basically running through my memory and trying to think of anything that I may have missed, any small detail of meeting the drow, or any information we learned about the black spider that I might have slipped my mind. I'm gonna try to think if I can think of anything else, and just basically write down notes on everything that's happened in the last month.
All right. You do so.
But at Pyth's table.
Pyth kind of like watches her for a second and then just leans back and like closes her eyes, like resting back on. I guess they're in a booth. Pyth would have picked a booth if there was a booth. She's not annoyed by the fact that Tor came to join her.
Nope. Okay. We'll get back to you, Tavi, then.
I don't have anything else.
So I'd say, Mahi, you have come back from your little conversation at this point.
Yeah. He's come back. I'm pretty sure that table's getting crowded. He's just gonna go sit at another table. It doesn't look like he's
There's
trying
only
to.
2 people at the other table.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are the only ones in the bar at this point.
Yeah, Tavith is at the bar. Tor and Python are at a table, and then if you sit at another table, it's a third table. But there's only 2 people there.
Okay, so I guess Mahi will sit at y'all's table. He's actually gonna get a drink before he does.
Okay.
Pyth opens one eye to acknowledge Mahi, and then closes it again.
Tor doesn't even look up at him.
Mahi just nods and then sits down and drinks his drink. What you got there, Tor?
Awkward silence.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? As she looks up at him. A notebook. Goes back to writing.
Angelo is going out of his room.
Okay.
Come join us, Angelo.
I'm join the awkward silence.
And he's going
Please,
to
I
walk
miss you.
into the tavern area.
I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna wave over at him.
He nods. And he goes and sits down at an empty table.
What time is it, DM? In game?
At this point, it is probably around, I'd say, around 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mahi's gonna finish his drink. Well, I'm gonna go hit the hay. I guess I'll see you in the morning. I don't know what our plans are, but and walks and finishes his drink, puts it on the counter for I forgot his
Elsa?
name.
Or
Elsa.
Elsa's out there at the moment.
Okay, so Elsa,
She kind of nods and holds her hand out.
I give her 4 copper pieces.
Yeah, there you go. She nods
And-
smiles at you. Winks.
He nods, doesn't wink, but nods, and walks to his room. Although he's not going to bed, though.
Tor's gonna wait a moment. She's gonna kind of half close her notebook. Just gonna look over. Hey, Angelo, why don't you come sit with us?
Pyth opens both eyes and then just slowly looks at Tor.
He gets up and he limps over to the table.
And I'm sitting in a way to where I want to make it clear that I'm sitting in a way to where I'm blocking Pyth into the booth.
Is
She would
it
have to
okay-
physically climb over me.
Is it okay with your friend?
Look at Python.
Why not?
He sits down. Can I get you guys anything?
I'm good, but thank you.
I don't tend
Hi.
to like anything that this place has.
Understandable. I only like the wine here, but it is what we can get at the moment.
Pyth looks
Unfortunately.
terrible, by the way. Like, on a scale of 1 to 27, she's like a 7.
So weirdly
That was-
specific.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot that health was a thing.
Yeah.
I'm at a 12. I forgot.
Like,
It's
we
fine. We're
look...
about to go to bed. We
Angelo
look like
has,
we got beaten up.
Angelo
Yeah, you
has
guys
no
are pretty
idea
rough.
what happened, but we look awful.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys do for the last hour?
Oh, we sparred with Corelin.
Ah.
We won.
I see. He looks genuinely surprised.
Granted, there were 4 of us, and 1 of him.
I'm also inclined to believe he was not going all out.
I am also inclined to believe that.
I do not know. I would not sell yourselves short. You are a perfectly capable group.
Oh, I
Did
hit
not
Tavi
talk-
more than I hit Corelin.
This is true.
Well, he is a bigger target.
That's probably why Corelin kept switching places with him.
Switching places. Ah,
Yes, he can do that. It's really cool. He can also summon demons. Did you know that?
I did not.
He can.
Did I?
No, you would not necessarily have any
No, I did not.
information in regards to combat related.
You haven't seen this
Corelin?
man fight.
Yeah,
Nope.
you haven't seen him in action, other than you just know where he comes from.
Mhm.
And elementals. He can summon a lot of things, actually.
And you were his student?
I was, yeah.
Can you summon elementals and demons?
No, I can summon Drippy. And I pet the snake around my neck. Because I am not a conjuration student.
What student are you?
Ah, heck, I really let myself be led into that one.
Inside check.
Oh no, you don't even have to.
Pyth is
Passive.
like kind of just looking at Tor, but doesn't really react. She's like, she knows it's coming.
Oh,
Like-
necromancy.
You are taken back by the fact that she nonchalantly just says this out in the middle.
And you
of
like your passive
wait.
insight. I am not lying.
Did I heard you right?
Yeah.
Necromancy.
Yep, yep.
Why?
Why? Why?
Yes.
Well, because here's the thing. Death is fascinating. It's one of the very few absolutes that life has. And even then, it can be manipulated slightly. And so the forces that control both life and death are really interesting. They can be
You-
used to heal, they can be
you
used
raise
to
dead?
destroy, and they... No, I do not raise dead.
What? He looks like look over at Pythavin, the cleric of Talos. Looks at Tor. Looks her up and down distinctly like this girl's not a necromancer.
Yeah, I don't raise dead. That's one of the rules that Corelin actually gave me when he was helping me out and he found out that I was interested in this kind of stuff. That's the one rule is can't raise undead.
But why necromancy? To my would I know that there's a decent amount of wizardry schools, right? I would know that.
I mean, you're familiar with what necromancy is, but I mean, from your
And
perspective,
that there's other...
yeah, you know the negative
Basically what
stigma
he's-
attached to it.
Yeah, what I
he's asking, is
know,
he
like-
aware that there are many other areas
like,
of study, like
Areas of
conjuration,
study in
like
that,
other
the
schools of
conjuration,
study.
transmutation, things like that.
Other
Yeah,
kinds
roll
of
our-
wizards she could have been and chose not to be.
Yeah, roll Arcana.
4.
You don't know anything about, yeah.
He's like,
You know
there's-
surely.
You know,
There's-
I didn't have to be a necromancer, but that's about it.
But-
Right.
So, necromancy, and you chose that because you like death.
No.
No,
Because
you
I think
find
it's
you find death fascinating. The
Yeah,
concept
the
of death
forces that control
and
it.
life.
Yeah.
Yes. I see. Well,
You're clearly not afraid of death.
on the contrary, terrifies me.
That's like he looked up.
I don't believe you. People don't look people like Maki in the eyes and go ahead, finish it, as they've already been gutted. If they fear death.
You were not there for the conversation leading up to that. I knew he would not kill me.
I don't think you
I'm gonna
have much trust in.
inside check him.
Do it.
20. Not natural, but 20.
Dang. Okay. Yeah. No, he didn't really calculate that far.
He was a little shooketh.
Yeah.
His
don't-
normally casual demeanor is shifted at this point. He does not seem
You don't.
too confident.
Yeah. You don't know Mahi like we do. If you push him to that point, he will kill you. It doesn't matter who you are. It honestly doesn't even matter if he likes you. You get him to that point, he's gonna kill you. Really shocked he didn't, actually. We expected to come down, and we expected you to be a corpse within 20 seconds of us entering the room.
Well, luckily
Well-
for us, I am not a corpse.
To be fair, the spell ends if he were to fall unconscious. We probably could have handled it past then.
Yeah, unless Mahi did what he did to that one red brand and decapitated him on sight.
He did the what? You know what?
Uh,
I am not going to hold that. I do not want to know. Knowledge
You said?
is something that everyone should have, but there's a point where too much knowledge becomes a bad thing. So I do not want that
No.
knowledge. Selective
No.
knowledge. I have selective knowledge. I do not want that knowledge.
You said you wanted to know about us, and here we are, trying to give you information.
I know enough about Mahi.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know
Yes,
he
I
has a wife?
do not know that.
He does. Did you know he had a master? Do you know
Yes.
he
No,
absolutely hates
not-
elves?
I picked that up.
Pyth leans forward.
You know.
He's afraid of spiders.
Is what?
He's afraid of
You-
spiders.
Jerk.
I'm an insight checker.
You probably should.
19.
Hmm.
You don't have good charisma.
Pulling your leg.
Yes, the interjection is not on the level.
she,
Well,
she is making what you would call a joke.
well, either way, he could have killed me, but he did not.
Nope.
So I'm trying to figure out why, because as far as you've told me with his sword, that
Yes.
he will not stop until he has killed whoever he is facing.
No, but his sword also has never reacted this way before. Every time it's always been a physical attack. From what I understand, you didn't actually attack him, you just hurt his feelings, basically.
I did more than hurt his feelings.
Did you physically hit him?
I did not physically hit him, but trust me,
Okay,
words can hurt more than a sword.
okay, stop being philosophical with me for a minute. The basis is you hurt his feelings and not his physical body. That's the basis of it. You can get deeper than that if you want, but for
Yes,
the purposes
that
of this
is-
conversation, that's what happened.
Yes,
Yes?
yes,
Okay, thank you.
correct.
Never done that before. And so it's possible that his sword didn't have as strong of a hold on him. Or it could be something else entirely different. The fact of the matter is, this was a one-time scenario that hasn't happened yet, anyways.
Well, it will
So it
not
could
happen
have
again.
everything to do with that.
will not
Mahi's
happen
feelings
again.
are very easily hurt. Honestly,
Well-
likelihood of it happening to me next time is probably higher.
I am going to do everything in my power to keep it from happening again.
It's a good plan. It's a good
Not
plan.
just to me, but to anybody. I do not want anyone else in this group to die. That is why I am here.
Okay, so tell me what
I
else
would
you
like
found
to
out about
insight
us.
check him.
Okay, go ahead and insight.
Bonk. I don't know.
He's an unreadable. He's an enigma wrapped inside of a mystery.
Unless you roll a nat 1. That's
Oh,
the
oh.
only possible way you could get lower than what I got.
Well, I'm not rolling.
So, what else have you learned about us, Angelo?
Well, I do not want to keep bringing up your deceased friend, but I do know that he was the heart of this group.
You found
Um,
that out before. I'm talking about what you found out since the last time we've talked.
No,
You checked
I
the
do-
book out of? You checked the book out of Sildar's library? Have you found it an
Uh,
interesting read?
Quite
What'd you learn?
a lot.
Yeah? Elaborate.
Pyth's just staring at him.
The tables have turned. You're being interrogated now.
Like you, little blue one, I take an interest in knowledge. Whether it's knowledge that I need, or just knowledge for the sake of knowledge. This
No,
particular
because
book.
you've decided that there are limits to knowledge. You're looking for specific knowledge. You're not the type of person, I don't think, who would waste their time with random reading when there's interesting reading to be read. You picked that book up for a reason. Go ahead. Share it.
Okay, as you wish. From where I come from, there is a very strong church of an evil deity, and I wanted to know more about that deity, since from where I came from, that is what ruled my life and the lives of those around me. So that is why I picked up that book. I wanted
Can I
to
take a
gain
guess?
deeper understanding into my past.
Can I take a guess at who it is?
Ah, yes.
Oh, is it Talos?
No, actually.
No?
No, that is not the church.
Oh. I don't believe you.
Wait,
I'm not going to
Okay, wait. I have notes. Would I know of a particular place in Athkatla? A particular church in Athkatla that he might be talking about?
You would know, as far as Athkatla is concerned, that there are lots of sects. I mean, it's a big, hodgepodge of different kinds. So it would be hard for you, without more information, to pinpoint what he's talking about.
As far as, like, big evil deity group that had a lot of influence, would I maybe know? Other than...
Bane, Sirik, Shar, Lovathar,
Oh wait, is Athkatla? That's really far south, isn't it?
Yes, it's near. That's close. It's near to Candlekeep. You'd be familiar with it as well, Tor.
As far as
most
Athkatla goes.
likely, you probably sailed out of there.
Ooh.
I don't know if we've gotten that far to divulge that part of your backstory yet.
This is true. That's probably where I
whenever
would
we
have sailed
develop
out
your
of.
pirate stuff, then you probably would have, because that would have been the closest coastal city, short of Baldur's Gate. It just depends which direction you went.
So, top 3 evil churches in Athkatla. Would I know that?
My God.
Top 3.
There are a ton. That city has gone through crap, and
That's fantastic.
From 3rd edition onwards. So yeah.
Rip them. Okay.
Yeah, you guys
Anyways,
would
I'm
have
looking at
no
Angelo.
ability to pinpoint this without knowing.
There's just so
something
many.
more specific. Yeah.
I don't believe you, Angelo.
Why not?
Because.
Have I reason to lie?
Yeah, you do.
What is that reason?
You haven't figured out all the pieces yet, and you don't want to share it until you have reason to share something.
Well, I don't like sharing until I know exactly what I am sharing. I do not want to be false in any accusations I make, anything I share, any ideas.
Thing is, if you ask, you might be able to find out faster. You got somebody at this table who's willing to share everything, somebody who's not, but who's trapped by the physical body of the other person. So maybe you could read her facial expressions, because
People
she is
can
the one
lie.
we're talking about.
People can lie, people can deceive. Facts cannot.
I don't.
I think you have not deceived me yet, but in deceiving for a friend, I think you are perfectly willing to do.
Try me.
Okay? What are your feelings towards Maki?
I dislike him greatly,
Why?
because I think he's a hypocrite.
He thinks so too.
Oh, good. Glad we agree on that.
Yes. What are your feelings towards Tavith?
I think he's stupid but harmless, as far as intentional harm goes. He's
I
not
agree.
harmless in the sense of in a fight.
What is your opinion on me?
I think that you Let me think. Tor kind of leans back, looks him over.
He pulls out his pipe.
You are used to being the smartest, cleverest person in the room, and you typically are. I don't dislike you. And I'm inclined to like you, since Corelin seems to trust you. However, right now, you're causing antagonistic feelings in the group. And so I'm trying to get that cleared up so that we can actually move forward without killing each other.
Well, I would agree with you. However, I will say there are only 2 rooms I have ever been in where people have been smarter than me. And I have not figured out if this is one of them yet. You're quite close.
Ah, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
What are your feelings of the cleric?
Cleric? Python here?
Yes,
Because that's her name. You can call her Cleric, but her name's Python.
I will call her cleric, but thank you.
I know you will. Just want to make sure, because the introductions got skipped again. Just want to make sure you do actually know it.
Yes, I do. I know.
I know, just making sure.
Of course.
I like Python.
Yes.
I don't
You
know if
do.
I trust her 100%, because
Why
she's
not?
secretive all the time,
Well,
because she keeps all of the secrets. Yes,
Secretive of what?
but I know that she has picked us up every single time we've fallen down. And that if it came down to saving us, she would. I would trust her with my life. However, I don't trust her fully, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't. But
Do you
I trust her with
more
my
than
life.
you trust Corelin?
Do I trust her more than I trust Corelin?
Yes.
That's been a point of contention recently, and Pyth can tell you we've pretty much already had this conversation. She's already asked me to trust her more than I trust Corelin. Right now, I can't.
Why not?
Because I know Corelin. I've known him for years. I've known Pyth for a week and a half. Well,
It's like 2
longer.
weeks.
I don't know.
Hang on.
We were in the death house for apparently a long time.
You see, this is what I do not understand about your group. You are all so adamant about trusting each other and liking each other and being friends with each other, but you have known each other for a very, very small amount of time. That is what I find fascinating.
Yeah, in that week and a half, we've been through more than I have in the other 23 years of my life.
It's been 2 weeks. Pretty much exactly.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Well,
And right now, we're kind of stuck trusting each other because we all have a common goal. And honestly, I'm not even sure that common goal is saving the realms or finding the cave.
you want to
Our
avenge your
common
friend.
goal is to avenge Archer. And for that purpose, and maybe even that purpose alone, all of us are willing to trust each other.
Well,
What happens beyond that may change. However, you are an unknown equation at the moment.
do you want the complete and honest truth from me?
I do. I have given you the complete and honest truth. I think it's only fair.
That is yet to be seen. But I
Insight
here.
check me then.
I am here for 2 reasons. 1, I need to find Gundren Rockseeker. There's not been a case I have not been able to crack. I
It's
am
a matter of
probably, quite frankly, it is.
Okay.
It is a matter of pride. I am probably, not to brag, and I'm sure there are many others better than me, but I am the best detective I know of. I'm probably the best detective you will ever come in contact with.
Well, I haven't known
do
many,
not-
so the bar's pretty low.
I do not know your friend. Therefore, I have no need to avenge him, but I will help you in your goal to avenge your friends in the process of finding Gundren Rockseeker, because I believe that our goals are quite closely related. Second, I'm not lying when I say I am here to make sure that nobody else dies. That is why I pushed Mahi to the point that I did. I need him to understand that his anger, his emotions could get himself or one of you killed. That is why I'm trying to figure you all out. I do not want any one of you to die. And quite frankly, I do not want to die. Because even if you do not believe me, I am terrified of death, and I do not want to die. There are too many things I need to do.
Pyth has been dead silent the whole time, just staring at Tor, mostly. But her gaze has slowly shifted back to Angelo.
Every so often you hear Tavi's chokes on something.
Tommy's minding his own business.
Otherwise, it's nom 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 nom.
It's like an anime of me eating food.
Yes, like
Like-
that scene off of Spirited Away.
Yes,
No.
exactly.
Just to maybe improve trust, each of you ask a question, any question, and I will answer honestly. Anything you can think of. I have nothing to hide.
I know, I'm thinking, because I only get one question. I want to make it a good one. Pyth, you should ask your question first, just to make sure I don't accidentally ask your question.
No, go ahead. Are you saying that in character? Because that was not
Yes,
response.
that was in character.
No, you go first.
He's like just looking back and forth between you guys.
Tor's kind of leaning forward, like squinting at him, like trying to decide what she wants to ask.
He reaches his hand up and he curls the end of his mustache.
Can I save my question? You said I could have it. Do I have to use it now, though?
No, I'll allow it.
I was considering asking the same thing.
Okay. Just remember, you owe me one question, 100% honesty.
One question and I will give you completely honest. However,
Because whether you want to believe it or not, I have been completely honest with you.
as much as I hate to admit it, I believe you. However, you, cleric, now it is your turn.
Uh-oh.
I do
Pyth's
not
expression
want.
does not change.
I do not want anything to come between this group in working together to achieve our common goals, our common interest. However, I do need to inquire something about you that I believe could be detrimental to this group's safety.
She's just staring at him, waiting.
Why are you a cleric of Talos?
I have my reasons.
That is not enough. Knowing what clerics of Talos do, I need to know why you are a cleric.
Why I'm a cleric or why I'm a cleric of Talos?
Both. Why not both?
I am a cleric. Because I wish to help people.
Well, I do not think you accomplished that when you chose Talos.
I am a cleric of Talos. Because he gives me what I need.
I guess it does not matter what evil you do as long as you get what you want, right?
I wouldn't say that.
I mean, sacrificing people, that's... Their lives are worthless As long as you are benefiting, of course. So I
No.
understand. I understand completely.
No life is worthless.
So you know the worth of the lives that you so eagerly sacrifice?
It just sits back slowly.
I see.
Expression still doesn't change. She's kind of. You can almost tell that she is not like done with the conversation. She's just considering how to move forward.
You see, this is what I want to find out about the group. If you guys cannot be honest with me, I cannot help you. I am at a dead end right now. I only have one lead as to how to find Gungeon Rockseeker and how to take down the Black Spider and how to avenge your friends. But if I can't have honesty from you guys, I cannot help you. And I'm here to help you.
Pyth finally like sighs and sits forward again, puts her elbows on the table, and then rests her chin on her hands. I can tell you this much. I have no intention of hurting this group, nor do I have any intention of letting them get hurt. I care as much about protecting the Sword Coast from this Black Spider as I do protecting myself or achieving my goals. They do not go one without the other.
I'm an insight checker. 20.
Fishy.
Seems level.
That does not make me trust you anymore. Well, I do believe you are being honest. That makes me trust you even less. I don't know why.
I don't follow, Angelo.
Angelo's confused. Angelo doesn't understand, and therefore
I admire why you care about this group, and I believe that you would not let any one of your group members get hurt. I think that's just why you dislike me so much. You see me as a threat. You see me as a potential way of hurting your friends, especially since I'm related in ways to your brother. I'm affiliated with him. You do not like him. By extent, you do not like me. However, I do not believe that your willingness to protect, and he says in quotes, protect the Sword Coast and this group, I do not believe that condones or outweighs the other lives you will sacrifice in achieving your own goals and your own desires.
have you ever killed someone, Angelo?
No.
Then you know not of what you speak.
I don't believe I have to kill someone to know that sacrificing is wrong. I do not believe I have to kill someone to know that someone's life has worth and meaning. I don't believe I have to make a mistake to learn the lesson from it. That is why I admire people like you. I can learn from your mistakes instead. Now, if you will forgive me, I'm going to retire because this is...
Wait, Angelo.
But,
I know you're the type of person who loves to have the last word in things, but I gotta ask some more questions.
Tor's here.
I only gave you
Tor's
one question.
here.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, from what I'm gathering, your issue with Python is the Cult of Talos thing. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Does this have anything to do with our quest?
It is
Does this in any way impede your ability to find Gundren Rockseeker or our ability to avenge our friend?
You see, you misunderstand.
No. Answer my question. Simple. Yes or no? Does it
No.
affect our quest?
I do not know.
Why?
That is what I am trying to figure out. Whenever
It hasn't affected it so far, has it?
I would disagree, considering the topic of her talking with Mahi almost got me killed.
That's Mahi's problem, not Pyth's.
Also, just be thankful, side note, that I did not report you for petty theft. I could have.
She only stole one dagger.
Only one dagger? Only one dagger. I guess it's petty theft. That's okay.
Angelo technically saw me steal too, so he already knows that's not right.
Yes, theft is wrong.
But-
You're right. We appreciate
Tor only knows I stole one.
you not reporting us. She did get caught. Yeah, she did get caught, but we do appreciate you not reporting us.
Oh no,
How-
she did that all herself. Oh no,
You are breaking up.
you are.
Back to my original question. You said it.
Angelo.
He's gone.
Angelo's is sus.
We turned it back off and back on again.
Angelo's self-reported.
I self-reported. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys.
Can you guys hear me better?
Yes.
I don't know if you caught
Okay.
what Pyth said after you said, like, thank you for not reporting her. Pyth said, oh yeah, Tor handled that all herself.
I did accidentally ratted her out. I thought I was being cheeky, but apparently I was ratting her out. Didn't realize that at the time. That's besides the point. My original question. You said it has affected because of the Mahi thing. That's a Mahi problem, not a Python problem. Back to the original question. Does her being in the cult of Talos affect your ability to find Gundren Rockseeker?
Yes,
How?
because I cannot, with a clear conscience, work with somebody evil to accomplish
Then
the
maybe,
goal.
if you think she's evil, maybe you should leave, because you either get to work with us or you don't.
Why does it not bother you?
Why does it not bother me?
Why does it not bother you?
Because I
Do you
haven't
also
seen her
find
do...
sacrifices? Do you find that
No.
satisfying? Like you?
No,
I hate to
I've never seen her
interrupt,
do anything evil, though.
You've never seen her do any of it.
But
No.
there is at least one thing you've gotten wrong that I would like to clarify.
What?
I am not in the cult of Talos.
What?
I follow Talos. I am not of the cult.
Tor's gonna kind of squint at her.
Really?
Isn't gonna say anything, though.
How can you be a cleric of Talos but not be in the cult? Clerics are much different than followers. I'm not stupid. Your very power, that amulet you wear, all comes directly from Talos.
My power
All of your
comes
power.
from my devotion, not from the group associated.
From your devotion
devotion.
to an evil god. Your devotion. So you're devoted to what you do.
Are you angry?
Take pride in it.
Pyth about ready to get a wisdom save throw here.
Angelo,
Not doing when he's cursed.
Yes.
can you work with a follower of Talos or not?
I can work with anybody, but I cannot ignore their actions, and nor will I, even after this quest has been completed.
So once again, does Python being a cleric of Talos affect your ability to complete this mission?
To satisfy your dense skull, no.
I understand that you have a problem with it and will continue having a problem with it, but you don't seem to be fully understanding that I'm asking you a very simple question. Very straightforward. Morals aside, you have one thing you have to do. That is find Gundren. That is your only job. You stated that from the beginning, is you have a twofold job. find Gundren and keep us alive. Neither of those things are going to be affected by Python being a cleric of Talos. Perhaps the second one, if you're right, if she's evil. But you know what? Like you said, Mahi is fully capable of killing somebody. I am fully capable of killing somebody. And so it should have come down to our group needing to protect itself against evil. We can do that without you.
If I did not know any better, I would say you are threatening me.
I am not.
That's why I
You
said.
should know better.
That's why I do know better.
I believe more accurately she's threatening me.
That is correct. It should have come down to it, and Python does turn out to be evil, which I don't think she is. We're perfectly capable of killing her.
Well,
Your job is to find Gundren. And, like you said, by extension, help us avenge our friend. Python being a cleric has nothing to do with that. If you two need to bat it out and have some kind of moral blow, or you report her to the police for being it, whatever it is to satisfy your urge, you can do that when the mission's over, okay?
I understand. By the way,
So you gonna drop it now? Yes.
I like the name Dishonorables. It is fitting.
It is.
Pyth's expression's kind of like, wait, what?
Oh, you missed that pipe.
But no,
I gave us a name.
I will not drop it. I will simply put it on hold. For now.
That is what I meant. Drop it for the time being. But I understand how the confusion could have gotten there for you.
Well, I appreciate the stock.
Yeah, have a good night,
It's been
Angelo.
quite an enlightening experience, too.
Good night.
I wish you
Sleep
both
well.
a good evening.
See you in
Yes,
the
sleep
morning.
well.
Corelin has something to talk with you about in the morning.
He always does. And I'm going to limp my way to my room.
Oh, I was really enjoying Tor burning Angelo.
Pyth's gonna lean over to Tor and just, for the record, I think you're smarter than him.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm pretty sure you think that Tavith is smarter than him.
No.
What?
No. Tavith thinks I'm what?
I heard my name.
Mouthful food.
Pyth kind of like, she glances over at Tavith, but then she actually looks at Tor, like, meets her gaze, and is like, I think that he's very smart. And I am impressed that you not only kept pace with him, I think you outpaced him. And I think it made him upset.
I just wonder if he counts me in one of those 2 rooms now.
I think he'd be an idiot not to.
Oh. Anyways, I'm tired now.
I need some water.
I'm not used to people talking back when I talk. I'm just used to them ignoring me.
Which was impressive.
Okay.
If
I'm gonna close my notebook again.
if you're retiring, then I will come with you.
Alright, let's go then.
So Pyth
Alright.
stands to follow her as she...
Pyth and Tor go upstairs.
Or
Tavi,
there's no more
you-
stairs.
You are.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
the
everything's
whole
fine.
way.
It was flattened.
They just renovated and got rid of the upper.
Tavith, you are now alone. You have a half-empty platter and a very anxious Elsa kind of standing on the other side of the bar.
She's like, it's okay, are you gonna leave yet?
She's
Is he
tapping
done?
her fingers and kind of halfway staring at you in a longing manner, but the other half also waiting for you to pay up your bill.
Can I just look at her and give her a wink real quick? I'm gonna wink at her. Yeah, look at Mahi, bro. Perfect timing with the meme.
She kind of looks at you, and then kind of looks and eyes your coin pouch, and then looks at you again. And she winks back at the same time.
Tavi's mistakes for winking at the eye patch for his loincloth.
Oh god.
No,
Oh,
nope.
no.
Like, oh, okay. I want one. But no, Tavi's gonna. How much is it for the meal?
She starts counting it out and goes, let's see here. We had several chunks of meat, a hunk of cheese, a loaf of bread. I think I refilled you 3 times on the ale. That's going to be a gold.
All right. I'm gonna hand her the 1 gold and 5 pieces of silver.
Okay. She takes it. She nods. Always a pleasure, honey.
Oh, appreciate it. See you in the morning, Elsa.
Not if I see you first. And she winks and then goes into the back.
Tavi's like, yeah. She totally digs me in his mind.
It's probably right.
Tavi is completely alone, but he is talking to himself at this point.
Yeah.
No one else hears this.
And I go upstairs. Or
Okay.
there's no upstairs. There is no upstairs anymore, apparently, so I go to the room.
We'll just go to
We're all mentally ascending, okay?
Yeah, mentally going up.
Alrighty, so with that, I will say that you all tend to your nightly routines and go ahead and everyone
Take a long rest.
take your long rest. Tor
Mm.
will spend most of the evening before she long rests studying her new spells. So you will have access to that now.
Python not trancing during that time, just watching me do spells for 4 hours.
Basically, Python, are you trancing in her study period or in her sleeping period?
Are you pulling a late night with me, or are you going to sleep?
Pyth will actually probably trance while she's awake. So that
Oh, for the record, I am going to cast alarm around the whole room, basically over the doorway.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just kidding.
And then over the windows as well, to where if anything, including a rat, should come in,
Okay.
it will go off.
bro,
Okay.
I have one more prepared spell now. Okay, sorry.
All
I
right.
just have one thing,
Go ahead.
short thing. When Mahi gets up to his room, he just kind of sits on his bed and he thinks about what Angelo said to him. Unsheathes a sword. Kind of gets mad and chucks it across the room. I wasn't ready for you to leave, Ardenton. Mahi kind of grabs his face and he actually starts to cry a little. And then he goes to bed.
Oh. Okay. Tor.
First person to make Mahi cry award goes to Angelo.
Actually, he cried for the ghosts in the death house.
He got choked up for the ghosts. He did cry a little, but hit
Oh,
it with...
That
art-
Tor made him cry then, wasn't it? Because it was that final part where they were saying their goodbyes then.
Yes. Oh, yeah,
I
that
get
award.
that award.
Yeah. Congratulations, Tor. You made a man cry. Good for you.
It's my only goal in life, to make men cry.
Tor, do you cast alarm prior to your studying?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll say
'Cause
when
it's
you
8
are
hours. Wait.
once you have completed your spell copying, right before you go to bed, your alarm goes off.
Pyth is trancing.
Is it audible
gonna-
or is it just in your head?
I'm gonna make it. I made it an audible one just in case it would go off while I was sleeping.
All right, so Python, you.
So now
as
an
you
alarm is going off. You do get
as
to wake
you-
up.
end your trance.
I'm like
Okay.
looking around trying to figure out. Wait, would I know which part of the alarm got set off? Is that how that spell works? Like which area?
Go ahead and roll perception with advantage.
I am also casting light on my staff while I start looking so that I can see better in the room.
I imagine the room
Ooh.
would have light in it if you were studying before that.
This is true. But
Yeah.
it's like turning your phone flashlight on to look under the bed.
Yeah, I mean it's fairly dark in the room, in this, with the exception of your candlelight by your table and so forth. So it's not like all
20.
the lights are on. But yeah, okay, all right. So
Not a natural 20, but a 20.
yeah. That as you instantly cast your light spell and then look around the room, in the left corner, you see a shadow with kind of red eyes, multitude of different red eyes, with multiple legs, scurry up the wall, and takes one quick look at you before it squeezes through the crack in the window. It's a big honking black spider.
Well,
Wait,
I open the window. I open the window to try to see where it's going.
Wait, so Pyth's awake. Did she see this?
Or do you just see Tor like rushing towards the window now?
Yeah.
The spider.
Yeah, you don't see this, but you see Tor doing it.
Spider.
Well, what?
I follow it to the corner. I like open it up and I'm looking for it.
Pyth's like just out of her trance, like trying to get her bearings, like gets up and follows her.
Do I see it?
Roll another perception check.
Okay. Okay, which dice do I want to use? 14.
14. All right, so you kind of look around and you don't see any trace of it. As if it had just disappeared as soon as it went out of sight.
Can familiars be spiders?
What was that? Oh. Sorry.
Can familiars be spiders?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna lean back into the room and I'm gonna close the window.
Okay.
Pyth's just
Pyth-
staring at her expectantly.
There was a spider.
Spider.
Spider. Big one. Went out the window, and when I looked out the window, it was gone. I don't know if it was actually gone or if I just couldn't see it because it's a spider and it tucked itself into somewhere else. Because it was a spider.
Pyth kind of just slowly crosses her arms and looks around. Should we tell the others?
Oh, yes, let's go knock on Mahi's door. Hey, Mahi, I know it's the middle of the night, but I just wanted to let you know that a spider came into our room.
yeah, I dare you. I want you to now.
I don't think that it's a coincidence.
Did anything seem weird about the spider? Did it seem like a bigger than usual or...
It's bigger than usual.
I don't think it'll come back tonight. Can I go to sleep instead? Can we deal with this in the morning?
I will keep watch.
I'll set alarm again.
Okay. So you reset your alarm, Python's
Yes.
finished her trance, so she also go ahead and roll perception for me, Python, with advantage.
Actively keeping watch.
Actively watching.
In the hotel room.
Advantage with the alarm.
21.
Okay. All right. So she keeps a vigilant watch over the rest of the evening.
And just so we're clear, it is one of those out loud alarms again.
Yeah.
And Pyth
So
is
I'll give
actually
her-
going to
Yep.
put her hand on her sword and just kind of, if she sees that spider, she's freaking slashing it. Actually,
All right.
no, she's gonna pull her dagger and just hold her dagger, and if she sees it, she's gonna chuck that dagger.
All right. Very
Kill
well.
on sight orders.
Kill on sight.
All right. So she stands watch. Tor, you go ahead and get your sleep accordingly. The rest of you wake up in the morning, refreshed and ready to start your day.
Oh, I do need to fix. Hold on.
Everybody reset your HP and refill your spent slots.
Yay.
I don't
Oh, I
think
gotta
Tor
pick
you
which spells I
used.
want to
I
use.
can
You didn't
change
use your
a
staff
spell.
or any charges on your stuff, did you?
I did, but they automatically reset overnight.
Okay.
I can prepare different spells, correct?
Yeah.
Because
you
it's
can.
really awesome. Because I have a useless spell, I'm going to trade it for a useful one. I would say it's useless, but very specific when you need to use it.
Tavi, you get to lose 1 exhaustion level.
Yeah, one of these days, Tommy's will be fully normal
Well,
again.
it's your own fault for keep doing that when you know
Hey.
that you're already exhausted.
Go big or go home. Tor.
Wait, shouldn't you be back
Risk
to
it for
normal
the
now?
biscuit.
You only have
No,
No,
remember he took
remember?
an extra one in the fight with Corelin.
He
Yeah.
didn't actually, because he said he was gonna frenzy, but then he was like, "Wait, no, the other thing." And
No, he.
No, and then
No,
he
I did.
frenzied.
Yeah,
I
he
did
did.
frenzy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You.
He
crackhead.
At
thought
first,
about it.
I
And
wasn't.
he was like, yeah, he did the go big, go home thing.
He thought about it, and then he
Thanks,
actually
I was
did.
trying to impress Corelin, since he said this was an exercise, like a
Test.
Pro tip: stop trying to. impress
testament.
everyone.
Yeah.
All right, so the morning comes, and
Interesting.
you all are still
Level
safe now.
5. Let's go. No.
Tor, you awake and watch kind of Python still kind of defensive posture with a knife in her hand. A little
Did
creepy.
the spider come back?
No.
I'll be honest. I'm genuinely impressed by Tor, how she can just get up, look at Python, and just instantly go, "Did the spider come back?" Like she's just
She
up and at
probably
it.
had dreams about spiders. She probably had dreams about spiders all night.
Did anyone
mean,
tell
she
Tommy's
literally-
about the spider?
She's sitting there.
No.
She's sitting there minding her business. She's finishing up the transcription of Web. Just about to go to bed, looks up, and a spider sets off her alarm. And then the spider disappears. Like, spiders are on the brain. Should we take a break?